Hello aspirants, you're hearing to the aspirant voice. In this video, we are going to discuss about the story of Republic in India. What is the Republic Day that we celebrate every year on the 26th Jan? So, some brief story about it. And to memorize all the content, we are using this mind map. So, without any ado, let's understand this concept, the story of Republic in India. So, as we can say, that Constitution of India came into effect on 26 January 1950, thus making it one of the most important date in the political history of India, of course. So first of all, let's understand the term republic. While I'm talking about term republic, it is derived from the term res publica. So this is the term res publica. It is a Latin term which translates public business, is the source of the word republic. That means republic means the public business, that is the public affair. You can say public affair. Excuse me. Public affair. So basically the Roman Republic had a type of democratic government past, but it could not be compared to what we understand today by the name the republic. So the Plato, one of the great thinkers, he wrote that in one of his most influential works of political philosophy and political theory, that the republic deals with justice and the orderly city state and the just man, that is man who abide to the law, or you can say who abide to the justice. But actually, post-Vedic India saw some democratic administration under Mahajanapadas such as Kamboja, Kuru and Malla, who followed a republican system of government in a very great sense. So again, now we are going to discuss about these particular India, that is republics in ancient India, and all the details about it. So here in the history you can understand that there is a clear-cut evidence of the existence of protoforms. The protoforms, it means that this term means that early stage of democracy and republicanism in the ancient India. And there are some examples. The first one you can understand from the Vedic governance. So the Vedas describe at least two forms of the republican governance, that is monarchy and republics. So basically, what is monarchy? Monarchy, the first, you can say monarchy is one leader. So here people who have no choice, they have the family will be done. It's technically like king, his son, or the person who chose by the king. In that way, there will be a royal family, and these royal family will have the governance in their control. They will be the head of the government of the country. So the first group would be made up of duly chosen kings, and also this has long been regarded as an early manifestation of democratic country, because the kings were chosen. For suppose, let me give you an example of Bahubali. Technically, Rajmata Shivagami Devi. So she is the Rajmata, and she kind of acted like president who appointed the king of the country. So she technically chose the king according to people's interest. So it's a kind of a little bit evidence that somewhere the people interest has been addressed. People's interest. So now let's discuss about the republics. This is second type of government, is one of which power is vested in a council or sabha instead of a monarch. So here, members of these sabhas are not usually chosen based on birth, but rather on their accomplishment and achievements. And a nod of the present bicameralism legislative system can be seen in the fact that the sabha frequently shared an authority with the Samiti, a body made up of ordinary citizens. And Rigveda mentions Vidata, the assembly of people, over 100 times for debating policy, military problems and critical issues that affect everyone. These discussions were open to both men and women. So this was, again, let me give you one more example from the very same movie Bahubali, that is Bahubali 2. So here when Shivagami Devi want to house the King Ballal Deva, King Balla. So she want to host his position. At that time, she calls to the Katappa and says that organize a meeting. Organize a meeting. I mean, not technical meeting. She calls a council of representatives. Representatives, and those representatives are none other than ministers. So the republic has been existed even at that time too. So this is a small story. You can understand. Of course, Bahubali is fictional story, but it was somewhere deeply rooted in our folk stories also. Now let's discuss some evidence in Mahabharata. In Mahabharata Shanti Parva, it contains a detailed description of the characteristics of Indian republics called Ganas, or you can say Ganas, in the chapter 107 and 108. So basically, these Ganas, it asserts that when people of a republic unite, they become powerful and affluent, and they are destroyed only by the internal conflicts between the people. So when it is technically in a republic, if the people are of a republic, they were technically sovereign. Now, in Mahabharata, a republic is not a state of absolute monarchy existed in parts of ancient India, as evidenced by Hastinapur and Indraprastha, two such kingdoms. Now, let's discuss about Buddhist canons. So, Buddhist texts in both Sanskrit and Pali mentions extensively two Indian republics such as Vaishali in the Lichavi city. In addition, the book details Vaishali's conflict with Magadha, a dynasty that stood next door. That is, Magadha is neighbor of Vaishali. Magadha is neighbor of Vaishali. So, a dynasty that stood next door, a non-monarchical subcontinent could have resulted from the victory of the Lichavis. And according to the Pali and Sanskrit texts of Avadana Shatak and Mahanibbana Sutra from 2nd century AD, that is 2nd century, republican rule exists in some place of the Buddhist world. And also, there were 16 Mahajanapadas, as they are known in Buddhist and Jain writings, are listed in these sources. Now, let's verify some Greek records. Diodorus Siculus, a Greek historian, states that most cities in the northwest India had democratic forms of administration at the time of Alexander's conquest, that is in the year 326 BC. And this is also reported by the historian Aryan. The soldiers of these republics, example the Mallas, put up the strongest resistance, and Alexander's army won only after incurring heavy losses. Now finally, Kautilya Arthashastra. So, Kautilya's 7 elements of state. A state is said to be made up of 7 elements, and the king, ministers, and the people, Janapada, make up the first 3. For the sake of the people, the king must heed the advice of the Amatyas, and ministers are chosen by popular vote. So, here you have to observe this. According to Kautilya Arthashastra, the Arthashastra also mentions the entrance tests for them. Like you, the civil servants, are going to write the exam in UPSC. So at that time, they have taken entrance test to the people who are going to take the government job. And Arthashastra states that the happiness and benefit of the king is linked to the happiness and benefit of his subjects. His subjects in the sense, the people of the kingdom. Now finally, how India's transition we are going to discuss. The transition of India from a British colony to a sovereign, secular and democratic nation was a historical journey. So now let's understand this journey. So at first, in the year 1930, India started conceptualizing the dream of becoming a sovereign republic. and the seats of the Republic Nation is shown in 31st December 1929 conference, and that conference is known as Lahore session. Lahore session. And this session was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru himself, the first Prime Minister of India. And it was decided on Jan 26, 1930 would be observed as Purna Swaraj Day. Purna Swaraj Day. That is Complete Independence Day. So the Lahore session also paved the way for civil disobedience movements in the nation. After that, in the year 1946, after much deliberation between India and British, after much deliberation between these two entities, parties, the Constituent Assembly was constituted, which met for the first time. And Britain decides on granting independence to India, and cabinet mission is dispatched to India to discuss modalities for transfer of power. In the year 1947, 14th August 1947 proposal for creation of various committees is tabled, and 29th August, after 14 days, we are getting independence. After 14 days, drafting committees established. And 6th December 1947, Constituent Assembly formally convenes for the first time following elections to start the process of writing a constitution. In the year 1949, 26 November 1949, Constituent Assembly adopts final drafting committee. Final draft making it official. Even this day, 26 November is also famously known for Constitutional Day. The day is celebrated. Constitutional Day. The day is celebrated. Finally, in the year 1950, Constitution came into force, and the new Constitution India, making India truly a sovereign republic. So here, basically an important goal of the assembly was to create a long-term constitution for India that would institutionalize the country's pledges to equality, liberty, democracy, sovereignty, and cosmopolitan identity for the citizens. So most of these terms you will find in the preamble too. Now let's understand the importance of the Republic Day, and of course what are the threats to Republic, and also let's discuss about the Republic nature of the country and threats to the Indian democracy. So basically, why a Republic Day is important. Even though India gained its independence on 15th August 1947, it was not until January 26, 1950, that is nearly 3 years, when the Indian Constitution came into effect, and that the country truly felt the spirit of independence after the Constitution came into force. On this date in 1947, India became the sovereign democratic republic, putting an end to the colonial era and ushering in a new era. So here you have to understand the sovereign. Sorry, this is wrong. It is 1950. Okay, now let's go forward. Sovereign. The word sovereign implies that India is neither a dependency nor dominion of any other country, but an independent state. So that's the word sovereign meant. And there is no authority above the constitution, and it is free to conduct India its own affairs. Democratic is based on the doctrine of popular sovereignty, that is possession of supreme power by the people, and republic. Preamble indicates that India has an elected head called the president. He is elected indirectly for fixed period of 5 years. And also a time to remember and reaffirm our commitment to the key terms in the preamble, that are liberty, equality, fraternity in our society and among all of our citizens. This day serves as a celebration of our democracy and republican principles. The day honors the desire of a large country to be governed by a single constitution. That is also, you can say, India is having the largest constitution. Biggest constitution and largest democracy, which is just another evidence of India's unity in diversity. Only a few of the constitution's clauses took effect before 26 January 1950 or 26 November 1949. As of November 26, 1949, Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 60 of the Constitution, as well as the short title and provisions on the citizenship, elections, provisional parliament, temporary and transitional measures, and the short title were in effect. Now, let's discuss an issue, threats to the Indian democracy. So, in the wake of the Citizenship Amendment Act and National Register NRC, National Register for Citizen, that is NRC, the country has become more polarized. And internal security threats like Pakistan's efforts to push terrorists in greater numbers are leading to large scale losses, particularly among the Indian Army and security services. This is especially true in Jammu and Kashmir, where tensions are rising. India's bargaining tactic has failed. India has been excluded from the RCEP, the world's largest trade bloc, which includes nearly a third of the global economy. And international exclusion has been like anger at Gilgit-Baltistan. Sorry, this is Balgistan. Gilgit-Baltistan assembly elections, and India's continued marginalization in Afghanistan, where Taliban authorities steadily rising. So India's isolation from the rest of the international community is one more threat to the Indian democracy and republic. Now let's discuss the way forward. So when I'm concluding this topic, I have to understand that we should be proud of how our republic has come under succeeding generations. At the same time, we must recognize that our journey is far from over. We must shift our standards of success from quantity to quality, from literate society to knowledgeable society, if we are to remain successful. And no understanding of India's progress can be complete without acknowledging the country's inclusive nature. As a result of the country's diversity, India serves as a model for the countries around the world. And the Indian model, diversity, democracy, and development, are like forms a triangular foundation which the model rests. And so that the country may become a family, and it must include all segments and all communities. This will all allow the nations to recognize and honor everyone's uniqueness and potential. So, this is all about the concept, the story of the Republic in India. I hope you do like this video. If you do like this video, please share it to your friends, like, share, and of course like, and you can follow my website and my classroom. The link will be given in the description. Thank you.